Let's dive deeper into one of the most talked about divorce cases in recent UK legal history, the contentious split between Simon Entwistle, a 42-year-old financial trader from Bolton, and Jenny Helliwell, a 42-year-old interior designer and heiress to a multi-million-pound fortune. This story isn't just about money, it's a tale of opulent lifestyles, hidden assets, allegations of fraud, and questions of fairness in family law. Drawing from court judgments and reports, I'll walk you through the full timeline, key events, and implications in a straightforward way. The couple's romance began in 2016 when Simon, who had recently moved to Dubai after his first marriage ended, with no children, met Jenny through mutual connections. Simon was a qualified accountant working for PwC, earning around £120,000 annually, and had personal assets worth about £850,000, including equity in a flat in Salford, Greater Manchester, shared with his parents. Jenny, on the other hand, came from immense wealth. Her father, Neil Helliwell, is a successful British businessman based in Dubai, and Jenny worked for him in the family business while earning roughly £650,000 a year, mostly from rental income and salary. She had never been married before and has dealt with serious mental health challenges requiring hospitalization. By May 2017, they were cohabiting, immersing themselves in a world of luxury. They lived in a stunning £4.5 million villa in Dubai, a gift from Jenny's father, and enjoyed extravagant perks like high-end travel and fine dining. Simon later described how he relished the trappings of being married into a family of exceptional wealth, with expenses including £36,000 yearly for flights and £26,000 for a personal meal plan. He even admitted in court that he couldn't cook an omelette. Their wedding in August 2019 was a lavish affair in Paris, costing up to £500,000, symbolizing the peak of their glamorous life together. But before tying the knot literally on the wedding day, July 12, 2019, they signed a prenuptial agreement, prenup, under English law. This drop hands agreement stipulated that each would keep their separate property, split joint assets 50/50ths, and make no further claims on the other in case of divorce. It included recitals emphasizing full and frank disclosure of finances, though appendices for assets were initially blank. Jenny disclosed assets worth £18.2 million, later reported as £23 million in some accounts. But her true fortune was around £66 million, including business interests and a 50% stake in her mother's Wimbledon property. This meant she hid nearly £48 million, about 73% of her wealth, citing concerns over tax implications, inheritance planning, and her father's privacy. Simon received preliminary legal advice but didn't get a chance to review the full disclosure with his lawyer afterward. The marriage, childless and lasting just 3 years, crumbled by 2022. While exact reasons for the split aren't publicly detailed, court documents note it ended around April or August 2022. The separation was acrimonious. Jenny ordered Simon out of the Dubai villa with only 48 hours' notice, leaving him scrambling. Simon sought a £2.5 million settlement to cover his needs, including housing and income, arguing the prenup was unfair. Jenny offered £500,000 initially, then £800,000 to settle out of court, but Simon pushed forward. In the initial High Court hearing before Mr. Justice Francis on March 10, 2024, the prenup was upheld. The judge found it was entered freely with legal advice, and that Simon knew Jenny was wealthy, deeming the partial disclosure sufficient. Simon was awarded £400,000 for his needs, covering £110,000 annual income and 2 years' rent in Dubai, but no housing fund, reduced to £325,000 after costs. This amounted to just 0.5% of Jenny's fortune. The judge remarked bluntly, "Being married to a rich person for 3 years does not suddenly catapult you into a right to live like that after the relationship has ended." On Simon's inability to cook, he added, "Well, my answer to that is, learn. It is not difficult. You do not have to be a master chef to learn how to eat reasonably well." The judge praised Jenny's honesty and questioned Simon's credibility based on disputes over cohabitation dates. Dissatisfied, Simon appealed on 6 grounds, including that the non-disclosure invalidated the prenup. The signing on the wedding day created undue pressure, and there was gender prejudice, arguing a wife in his position would receive more generous treatment. His lawyer, Deborah Bangay KC, emphasized, had the positions been reversed, it is very unlikely that he would have so ungenerously assessed the needs of a wife after a 6-year relationship. The Court of Appeal led by Lady Justice King with Lord Justice Moylan and Lord Justice Snowdon delivered a unanimous ruling on July 31, 2025, overturning the High Court decision. They declared Jenny's non-disclosure fraudulent and deliberate, as it breached the agreement's own terms requiring full transparency. Lady Justice King stated, "Willful or fraudulent breach of that agreement such that the disclosure made bears no resemblance to the true wealth of a party is capable of being material non-disclosure, as it deprives the other party of the information that they have agreed is necessary." She added that since Simon was deliberately deprived of information, the prenup cannot stand. The court criticized the initial judge for errors, like mischaracterizing the non-disclosure and overlooking evidence, such as emails showing Jenny's control over her assets. While not directly awarding more money, the case was remitted to the High Court for a fresh assessment under the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973, focusing on needs without the prenup's influence. As of now, Simon hasn't received additional funds, and after £450,000 in legal costs, he's £125,000 worse off than if he'd settled earlier, a tragic outcome, as the judge noted. This case underscores key lessons in UK family law, the critical need for transparency in prenups, as per the landmark Radmacher v. Granatino ruling, and that courts won't tolerate deliberate concealment, regardless of wealth or gender. It also highlights how short, childless marriages in high-net-worth circles are handled based on fairness, not entitlement. If similar stories intrigue you, keep an eye on evolving family law trends.